Hello, I'm Poppy Miller. Welcome along to our NWSL preview here on CBS Sports HQ, presented by Zelle. Zelle is a great way to send money to friends and family wherever they bank in the US. Look for it in your banking app today. So we're into the final stretch of the regular season, and the playoff race is well and truly on as only 7 matches remain across the league. Let's take a look at how things stand in the table, because only 4 points separates third through 7th place, so all to play for on these final match days. North Carolina currently on the outside looking in, despite being equal on points with the Dash and Gotham FC. So although it's a tight race in the middle of the table for playoff positioning, the Portland Thorns have officially won the Shield after their 1-0 win against the Dash last weekend. And for more on the Thorns and our upcoming match, our 2-time Olympic gold medalist Aly Wagner joins us now. Aly, always good to see you. Let's start right there with the Thorns, who won the Challenge Cup earlier this year. Now they've just won the NWSL Shield. It's just been an incredibly dominant season for Portland, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's one we expected. Coming into this season early on, we picked, who are the teams that we thought would vie for the Shield and make a run in playoffs, and Portland is the first one that is written in ink on that list. So I don't think anyone's surprised by that. The quality of the players in their squad, some of the acquisitions they had with Crystal Dunn coming over, Sauerbrunn now having more time. But I think what was surprising about it is how good their younger players have been and how big time they've stepped up. Sophia Smith and Morgan Weaver, the two there you see combining for that really important goal in the game against OL Reign. Those players, I would have said, yeah, they're going to see time, but they're not going to be as instrumental in the path that Portland takes this year. Absolutely not been the case. They have been key to their success. And in fact, I would say where some players haven't been performing, Crystal Dunn, for instance, has been not at the top of her game. It's allowed Sinclair to step back into that 10 position and allow those two youngsters to start to form a really formidable partnership up top that a lot of teams are going to be wary about. I mean, this team is incredibly balanced from back to front. And I think under Mark Parsons, they've developed a style that they've stuck through even through that Olympic break that has paid dividends now as we come down the stretch, where they're folding back in the internationals, those key big internationals, but these younger players now have more minutes and experience under their belt and are in really good form. Yeah, it's a brilliant point that you bring up, Aly. The mixture of players that they've got there is just incredible. So a dominant year for the Thorns, who no doubt will be looking to take it all come November. But let's talk about tonight's match, though, as Kansas City host Gotham. Nothing on the line for Kansas City, who we know are at the bottom of the table. They're out of the playoff picture. But for Gotham, this is massive, isn't it? They're one of 3 teams with 32 points at the edge of the playoff picture. So the big question here is, Aly, do they get the win, and do you see them making it into the postseason? Oh, man. I mean, it is a big question because they're rolling into Kansas City's home where they've been really good, which is shocking because we know Kansas City was the first team out of playoff contention, but they are unbeaten in their last 6 at home. Having said that, this is the international window, so both these teams are going to be missing key players. You've got Corsi out, Franch out, Bowen, Scott, and Laroquette, even though she's not a starter. So 4 key starters for Kansas City are going to be sitting on the sidelines or with their international teams, and Gotham is going to be missing Carly Lloyd, a massive one, as we all know. They're going to be missing their goalkeeper, Kylene Sheridan, who has been fantastic this season. And ultimately, Estelle Johnson will be another key player that is gone, but I think this Gotham City team will actually benefit from this international window scheduled game, which is pretty crazy to say because we're talking about one of the best players in the world and Carly Lloyd being absent. But they still got a lot of experience and more depth than Kansas City does to fill those voids. You've got McCalzer Boney still in the center midfield. You've got Allie Long, a World Cup veteran. And you've got Ifeoma up top alongside Midge Purse, another formidable partnership that is brewing from some of these younger players. Midge Purse has had 4 goals in her last 4 games, a brace in the last outing that she had. And Ifeoma is sitting on 7 goals, Midge Purse on 8. And they still got Cabriz Tedesco in their lineup. This is the player that is leading them in assists. So they are really well rounded, and their goalkeeper that stepped in that Olympic period had 2 shutouts, and that's Didi Hadricic. I expect her to start. So I think they weather the storm of this game being played during an international window better than Kansas City does. And as you said, Poppy, Kansas City just doesn't have a lot to play for except for spoiler to the party, and that can be a big motivator. But I just don't think they have the depth or the quality to get the job done, even as tough as they have been at home. So I give the nod to Gotham City, and it's going to be a big one, because if they get a win, that means they can host one of those first-round playoff games. It means they have the possibility to host a semifinal, and those moments matter come playoff time.
Yeah, it's a brilliant point that you bring up with that international window falling on such a crucial time. And as you say, Kansas City no doubt will be looking to play spoiler and go out on high as they close their first chapter in the NWSL. Aly, thanks so much for your insight. Great to talk to you as always.
Thanks, Poppy.
So let's take a look at that match, because it's all coming up from Legends Field at 8 p.m. Eastern as Gotham FC are on the road to Kansas City, battling for a place in the postseason.